Good day everyone and welcome to another LEGO Star Wars review. Today we're going to be doing set 75177, the First Order Heavy Scout Walker. 554 pieces, contains 4 minifigures, and originally retailed for 65 bucks. And yes, indeed, this is a video that is being made in 2020. However, you know, this is something that I got as a gift for Christmas, and you know, it's just a Christmas gift. And so, you know, I wouldn't usually purchase this, but as the one who gave it to me ended up telling me, they found this set on a massive sale, which only makes sense given how late this review is coming out. Now, you might be saying to yourself, what the fuck is this? I've never seen this stupid-ass vehicle question mark in my life. Well, that would be because it's based on Last Jedi concept art of a vehicle that never appeared in the movie. It's called the ATHS, and as a matter of fact, which I can only imagine stands for All-Terrain Heavy Scout. And I was reading the Wikipedia page to kind of get a little bit of a perspective into this thing, and it says that you know, the LEGO set was based on concept art, however, the vehicle remains canon. So extrapolate from that whatever the hell you will. I don't even know what that even means. It was not in the movie, but it's still canon. Like, I don't really understand. But in any case, we'll get right into our minifigures here. First, we've got a First Order crew. You've seen them a million times before. Same ridiculous dark helmet. Same very generic torso printing, little pistol. That face, which I think looks quite a bit like me, but, you know, that's besides the point. Standard, you need your guy to drive it. Then you got a Flame Trooper. We've gotten this guy in a few sets, including a battle pack, so he's not entirely, you know, valuable or anything. You know, he's just got his standard flamethrower right there. But I still like him. This is easily one of my favorite First Order minifigures. I really like the detail. I like the nice big sort of breastplate right there. It's unfortunate that these guys don't appear more often, because we've gotten them in quite a few things. Awful, stupid, terrible face. I don't know why these guys get that face, but the First Order crew are exempt. Shit. Back print right there. Front print right there. Nothing too different or interesting. Same exact Flame Trooper that we've got in other stuff before. Then we have got General Hux. Now he has got hair, but other than that, he is the exact same. As you can see, he's got that same outfit, which is just a really nice one. It's a really good outfit. I love it. I think it looks good. I think it's a nice outfit. He's got that same face, which unfortunately also came in Captain Goddamn Boomerang, but whatever. Same little pistol, same head with the sideburns. Face still works perfectly fine. Kind of wish we got an alternative one, you know, now that he's got the hair and it can cover up. Not to mention this style of hair, this like Obi-Wan Episode 3 hair, does a really good job at covering up back faces, so to get an alternative expression would be really nice. Something kind of scared or angry maybe would be cool. But still, it's, you know, nice to get another minifigure. And my current General Hux from Kylo Ren's Command Shuttle is getting pretty loose, so it's nice to have another one, I guess. Then we got this Resistance Trooper. She's exclusive, as a matter of fact. Her helmet, as you can see, is exclusive. This helmet, the mold and everything, we got in 2 other sets. The Defense on Crate, and then the Heavy Assault Walker, with the little yellow visor and everything. But what makes this one exclusive is that little white bar up there. That one makes it exclusive. Anyways, then she's got this very standard, generic female head that we've gotten in a bunch of other things before. And also her torso is exclusive, which is nice. It's another one of those Crate Resistance Trooper variants, which is just really, really cool. I love that ammo pack right there, and then, you know, the back printing. So it's nice that in this set you get at least one exclusive and a minifigure that's like we haven't really gotten all that much. So the minifigures, while not phenomenal, are, you know, they could be worse, I think. Just getting Another first order crew or something I think would be unfortunate, but I'm glad we got the exclusive resistance trooper. Anyways, then we've got our first order heavy assault walker, and let me just say, even though you may not be familiar with this thing, I was snooping around on the internet before this review because I do my research, except for in the advent calendar when Rob called me out. I was doing my research. And this is definitely what the thing looks like in the concept art. I know that may be hard to believe, and when I first built this thing, I'm like, really? This goddamn thing was somewhere in The Last Jedi or in the concept art of The Last Jedi, and yeah, say what you will about this set, but it's accurate. It looks exactly like the thing that they had in mind. The shape of the head, the tilt of the head, the cannons on the side, the amount of the legs, the way that the legs move, everything is pretty darn accurate. Anyways, we'll start at the bottom, I guess. As you can see, it's got a bunch of, like, legs. A bunch of little legs. And it's got wheels, too, so when you sort of move it along, it kind of does that. It, like, scuttles. The legs just kind of move just in this weird sort of pattern, so it looks like it's kind of like lurching along, I guess. The pattern seems pretty inconsistent, but that's because the wheels are not connected to one another and they're just sort of on freeform, so depending on where the wheels are when you first start rolling that thing really depends on how this thing moves. 3 out of 4 bags in this set are used to make those legs, and for someone with dyslexia like yours truly, it was a little bit complicated because I'm not all that good with technics. However, the effect I think is definitely what they were going for, if a little unimpressive, especially when compared to something like an ATST or an AT-AT, you know, with these massive honking legs that carry this massive freaking thing. This feels like it's got a bunch of little legs for something that doesn't really require a bunch of legs. Like, you know what, I get it, like, the temptation to make a bug vehicle is always there for a lot of different sci-fi franchises, but I'm not sure if this was really the way to go about it. When Rob and I were building it earlier, you know, we got to thinking that this was probably what they were thinking the First Order would have instead of an ATST, you know? This would be their, you know, their different walker, the thing to make it so that the First Order is set apart by way of their walker vehicle, in that the Imperials had a 2-legged thing, and the First Order has an 8-legged thing. So, kind of makes sense, I guess, sort of. Regardless, it's just got the 8 legs at the bottom right there, which, as you can see, just move because, you know, they've got a little dupe on the bottom of the wheel that just sort of goes around, and it just kind of touches it like that, and that's how it works for all 8 of them. Like I said, while not aesthetically pleasing as is, if you look at the concept art, you will understand where they're coming from. I promise it makes sense. Then, as you can see, sort of tapers off to the neck, and then we get to our head right here. As you can see, the head is looking ever so slightly down, and that can't change. I really wish that they had a hinge or something so at least it could, like, look up a little bit, so, you know, if there was like an aerial attack going on, it could deal with that, but nope, it's completely static right there. Like, as you can see, obviously it can warble just a little bit, but that's just because of the way it's connected, not because it's supposed to move, which is unfortunate. Anyways, on the head right there, you can see sort of the sunken in sort of front bit right there with the 2 cannons sticking out right there. Both of those are on hinges, even though if the guns are aiming up here, there's no way whoever's in there can see what's up there, so meh. Got the little sort of, I don't know, hood, foreskin, whatever you want to call it. Then we've got our sort of rotating turret on the side right there with a spring-loaded shooter. Yeah, it's fine. I wish that they covered up the actual spring-loaded shooter mechanism a little bit more. Got some more greebling on the side right here, nothing really too special. Got some more greebling back here, along with an extra bolt greebling, including 2 ADU blasters. Okay. And then moving on to the side, the other side is exactly the same. Then on the top right here, I don't know why they thought that making this hatch a wet sand color would be a good idea, but that's what they decided to do. It doesn't really look that good. And then when you flip that up, you just get a pretty generic interior with a pretty generic console in there and 2 seats. As you can see, the seats use that sort of minifigure leg wedge thing. You get 2 seats, and I don't really like those minifigure leg wedge things because they never account for the fact that the minifigure leg wedge piece doesn't actually allow for enough room for the legs if they're only going to do one more stud back, you know? They need to extend the seat a little bit further because there's a stopper at the very front of the wedge, which makes it so that the minifigures, while they can sit on it, their asses will never entirely be in the seat unless they extend it backwards just a little bit more. I don't know why Lego never learned this. I used to go on about it a lot in the old channel, the old days, you know. But they never really quite sit properly. Fortunately, these days, like, you can kind of get him in there, but he's not as good in there as he would be just with studs. Fortunately, these days, I see a lot more sort of returns to studs mixed in with your wedge pieces, so that's interesting. And then, yeah, you just kind of sit in there, and you can have Huck sit in the back, but I'll leave that to your vast imagination. Ugh. Excuse me. Other than that, you can see that there isn't really too much to this thing. Size-wise, it feels a little disappointing, but price for piece is definitely there. So saying that you're not getting your money's worth for this is kind of, Got a lot of little Technic parts, not a lot of big pieces, so that's why I think the price for piece is actually pretty damn reasonable on this one. I think it's unfortunate that it didn't actually appear in the movie, not because I think it's a good design, but for the sake of us consumers and just not really, most people not even having a basis for what in the good goddamn this thing is even supposed to be. It is an obscure vehicle, which, you know what, like, and the thing is that I don't blame Lego. They didn't really have a choice in this whole matter. They had the concept art that they were under the impression was going to be in the movie. They wanted to fill another first order vehicle slot, so here, this is what we got, you know? And I'm not like, oh, how could they possibly pick this vehicle? Like, they didn't know it was going to be in the final movie. Like, they gotta work with their designers with what they're given by, Disney. So it's really not their fault, and it's not even Disney's fault for giving them this vehicle design when they also were under the impression it would appear in the movie. Like, it was just decided by the creatives in the end to not include it in the final product. And I gotta say, when I was opening and building this set, I thought that I would be ripping it to shreds critically, but I genuinely can't do that. When you look at the concept art, this is exactly what this thing looks like. My biggest gripe, if anything, is just that the head doesn't articulate. But given what they were actually given, and under the very, the circumstances, they did admirably. They had to make a weird-ass vehicle, and this is a weird-ass vehicle. And you know what? When it comes to making weird-ass vehicles, they pulled through on it. This thing looks a lot like it was supposed to. The shape's all down here, the shape of the head, the little hood, the cannons, like, it all looks like the First Order Heavy Scout Walker. What a name. So, really, while this set isn't that good, it's not really anyone's fault, you know? Like, there's no real blame to be thrown around here if the set is lackluster. If anything, it was a poorly designed vehicle which didn't even get in the movie in the end. So it's like, even the people behind Star Wars knew that this was a bad vehicle, given its exclusion. So really, in the end, it's not that good of a set, but I can't in good conscience be angry about it knowing what I know, you know? It's not really fair to be all embittered about a set that everyone involved was ignorant about when it came to the final product. I am glad that they actually did a really good job making what they were supposed to do. The price for piece is also good, and the minifigures, while not that great, could be kind of worse, I guess. So, honestly, in the end, take from that what you will. I got this as a gift, and not only as a gift, but also a gift that was gotten on sale, which honestly I think are the perfect circumstances in which to obtain this set. I can't, if this set is a lot worse than I am depicting it, and I'm just not seeing it, it's probably because I can't also speaking of conscience, in good conscience, be angry about it, because not only did I get it as a gift, but I got it as a gift that was like yanked out of the Canadian Tire bargain bin. So, it's just the first order heavy assault walker. It's perfectly fine, really. There's a lot worse sets out there, and I think given everything that happened, I think the designers performed admirably, and it's a well-priced set. So it's kind of strange. A set that I thought I'd be ripping to shreds is one that I can't really find it in myself to be upset about. Victory? Loss? I don't know. Bye.